Okay, hi everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Hi everyone. So my name is Kieran and I'll be leading today's webinar. So we'll just wait a few minutes for everyone to join us. Okay. Hi everyone. So please tell me where you're joining us from today. Which countries are you all joining us from today? So I'm originally from London. That's where I grew up, and I'm currently teaching in Spain. So I live in northern Spain. So let's see, where are you all joining us from? I see Vietnam, Russia, Myanmar, Oman, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, Georgia, China, Kurdistan, Nigeria, Uzbekistan, Somalia, Bangladesh, lots of places. Well, thank you very much for joining us, everyone. India, Russia, Turkey, that's great. UAE, well, thank you very much for joining us, everyone. Philippines. Hi, so as I said, my name is Kieran. I'm originally from London, that's where I grew up, and I'm currently living and teaching in Spain. Okay, Congo, Malawi, Philippines, all over the world. Great, Cambodia. Okay, everyone. If you have any questions at all, you can write them in the chat if you want, but they might get lost if there's lots of people talking. So the best thing to do is to write them in the Q&A box, okay? If you write a question in the Q&A box, then it stays there for the whole hour, for the whole webinar, and then I'll try and take your questions. I'll try and take some questions in the webinar, and there will also be time at the end for any final questions as well, okay? So we'll just wait 2 minutes for the session to start, okay? So we're meant to start at 2 o'clock in Spanish time. Okay, so we'll just wait 1 or 2 more minutes for people to join us. I can see someone's already put a question here, how to improve IELTS listening. Okay, well today we're focusing on parts 1 and 2. Okay, so we won't get on to part 3 today, but we'll help you to do both parts 1 and 2, okay? Maybe we can take some questions at the end about part 3, but we're focusing today on parts 1 and 2, okay? So we should have some good practice. I'll try and take some people to speak as well, okay? So, hi everyone who's just joined us. Thank you for joining us today. Please tell me where you're joining us from, which countries, everyone. We've already had people from Saudi Arabia, from Somalia, from Vietnam, China, Uzbekistan, Kurdistan, Cambodia, Philippines, Malawi, Congo, India, Turkey, UAE, lots of places, Bangladesh. Everyone joining us just now, where are you joining us from today? Ghana, China, Philippines, Egypt, Uganda, Thailand, Bangladesh, Nigeria, Vietnam, India. Okay. Bhutan, Turkey. Okay. Well, thank you very much, everyone. So let's start. As I said, my name is Kieran. I'm originally from London, and I'm joining you from Spain today. If you have any questions in the webinar, you can write them in the chat, but even better, please write them in the Q&A box, and that way the questions stay there for the whole hour. We'll try and take your questions throughout the webinar, and there will also be time for questions at the end, okay? And I'll try and take some of you to speak as well. So today's webinar is focusing on parts 1 and 2 of the listening, okay? So I'm just going to share my screen with you all. Let me know when you can see. Okay, and then let's make it full size for you. So it's just loading now. Let's give it a second. Okay, can everyone see the screen? Is that working for you? Yeah, you can all see? Jolly good. Okay, well, let's begin, everyone. Okay. So by the end of today's lesson, we'll be looking at how to use a strategy to approach a listening text. We'll be looking at the focus particularly on parts 1 and 2. We'll be learning some key strategies to tackle some very common everyday questions you'll get in listening. We'll also be talking about signal words, how to identify signal words whilst you're listening, and using predicting information to help you with the listening, okay? And lastly, we'll do some practice of listening to words and numbers. Okay, so an overview to listening. What are we testing? It's your ability to understand spoken English in a variety of different situations, okay? You get 30 minutes. There are 40 questions in total, so that's 4 parts, each with 10 different questions, okay? And what are the parts? Well, part 1 is a dialogue in work and social situations, and part 2 is a monologue in work and social situations. Now, part 3 and part 4 are again a dialogue and a monologue, but this time in academic or educational situations, okay? So a dialogue, of course, is a conversation. A monologue is just one person talking. So 4 parts, 2 dialogues and 2 monologues, 2 for work and social situations and 2 for academic situations. 10 questions for each part, total 30 minutes. That is the overview of the listening. Okay, if you want to take a screenshot or a picture, please do. I'll give you a second to do that, to take a screenshot. Okay, someone asks, how long is the session? 1 hour. Okay, 1 hour. Okay, so that's an overview of the listening. How do we start a listening task? Well, first of all, have a look at the questions. Read the instructions and the questions very carefully. Then you can underline, like this, the keywords and information in each question. Helps you to focus on the most relevant parts of the question. And then we can also start to predict the information that you will need. Okay, what do we mean by predict, everyone? What does it mean when you predict something? To guess, yeah. Of course, it's not just a random guess, like picking random numbers for the lottery, is it? It's looking at the type of question and anticipating, working out what kind of information we're going to need. Okay, exactly, picking the most suitable answer. So before we even do the listening, we can have an idea of what kind of information is about to come next. So for example, if you have to fill out a form and it's got here, name, the thing we're listening out for is not a number, it's not a birthday, it's not a registration plate of a car or a job, it will be a name, right? We know already, you can predict, I'm going to hear a name, you'll probably hear it spelled out. So you have to listen carefully for the letters, S-M-I-T-H, Smith, okay. That's an example of predicting, okay. So what do we do next? Then we have the actual listening. So you should listen carefully to the recordings and try to answer the questions. And if you miss an answer, move on to the next question. If you're not sure about an answer, if you miss an answer and you spend all your time focusing on it, well, you're going to miss the next answer, aren't you? So if you miss an answer, just move on to the next question, okay? And then, to review, you want to check your answers and check your spelling as well. Spelling of words is important. And then you can write up your answers onto the official answer sheet. Okay, that's what we recommend. You write your answers down on note paper, and then once you're very sure, you're 100% sure, transfer it all onto the answer sheet. Okay, so This is the best way to approach a listening task. Underline the key information, predict what you're going to hear, listen to the recording, move on if you miss an answer, and check your answers and spelling before writing up your answers onto the sheet. And never leave a blank answer, especially for multiple choice. If you don't know, just guess. The worst that can happen is you get a wrong answer, well, you might have got a wrong answer by leaving it blank anyway. So never leave a blank answer. Okay, let's talk about part one. So part one, as I said, it's a dialogue, conversation between two speakers, two people, and it's about something social or something commercial, something to do with business or a transaction. For example, you might hear a telephone call between a customer and someone who works for a car hire company, okay, a service agent for a car hire company. So which of these ones do you think you might hear in part one? Have a read, everyone. Which one is the most likely? Okay, whilst we're looking, yes, obviously it's different for the computer-based tests. For the computer-based test, you just use a computer. If you have a typo, yes, it's important to really check your spelling carefully, okay? Because if you, for example, get asked a name or an address or a telephone number and you write an incorrect spelling, then you won't get the points, you won't get the marks, okay? So you really have to check your spelling. Okay. So for this one, what do we think? Some of you are saying 1, some saying 3. Just looking at all the answers now. Some of you are saying 4, okay? So, a man telephones a restaurant to book a table for a party, okay? Remember that we will be hearing 2 speakers. So a man speaking to a restaurant, that's 2 people, isn't it? The man and then the person who works at the restaurant. A professor lecturing on climate change, that's not a dialogue. That's just one person speaking. And then 3 students discussing an assignment. Well, that's 3 people rather than 2. And it's not about social or commercial needs, is it? That's something more academic. That's what you might get in part 2, perhaps. Okay. And then the bank manager giving a talk. Again, that's just one person. It's not a dialogue. So a man telephoning a restaurant, and they have a conversation. That's exactly the kind of thing you'll hear in part 1. Okay. Good. Let's carry on then. So this is the kind of question that you would get in part 1. Okay, 10 questions. There's a form, and you're going to hear a conversation, and you have to complete the information in the form. Now, for part 1, you should use no more than 3 words and or a number. Okay. So we just want 1 word or 2 words or up to 3 words or a number for each part. So we have here a form from a car hire shop. Okay. Have a look at the questions, everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's practice some prediction. Okay. What kind of information do you expect to see for each of these different things? Okay. So have a look at number 1. Have a look at the name. What kind of information would you expect for number 1? And I'm going to start taking people to speak now, okay? So what do you think we would see after number 1? Please raise your hands if you'd like to speak. Okay, what kind of information would we have for number 1? Okay, hi, I'm just unmuting your microphone. Hi. Hello, Hamza, are you with us? Okay, I'll take someone else. Okay. Hi there.
Hi, I think
Hi.
is last name.
Yes. Exactly. Thank you. So, yes, we have a first name, don't we, Stephen? So the information we anticipate, we predict, will be a surname, a last name. Okay, Stephen Miles, Stephen Smith, Stephen Jones, something like this. Okay. How about number two? What kind of information? What kind of information do we think would come here? Hi. Hi there. Is your microphone working?
Second one or first
Yes,
one?
number two. Number two. What do you think could come here?
I think that number or like something like this, maybe. Like
What are we looking at here with an address?
something adjective, I think.
An adjective, you think? Okay. Well, thank you very much. So we have an address, and an address normally has a house name or number, doesn't it? Like number 2, number 4, number 6, or the name of a house. Hamilton House, for example. And then Stretton is the name of a town, isn't it? So the most likely thing here would be a road or a street, okay? Something like this. So perhaps 2 Hamilton House on Smith Road in Stretton. Okay, 2 Hamilton House on Maple Street in Stretton. That's what we're looking for. Some kind of extra information in an address, a road name, a street name, perhaps a further name. For example, 2 Hamilton House, apartment 6, something like this, maybe. Okay, and then we have the postcode. And notice UK postcodes start with 2 letters and then a number or 2 numbers and then a space and then 1 number or 2 numbers and then 2 further letters. Okay, so ST17 5BU is the postcode here. My old postcode in London was SW17 9TU. Okay, next information, telephone number. Quite straightforward, isn't it? You're going to hear some numbers. How many numbers are in a UK phone number? Does anyone know? How many digits? Does anyone know? How many digits are in a UK phone number? Tell me in the chats. It's actually 11. 11 digits in a UK phone number. Okay, so for example, 0208 668 6802. 11 digits, okay? All right, next one, pickup. What do we mean by a pickup? So where we're getting the car from. This is a car hire, okay? So when are we picking up the car? What's likely to come here? We've got the 25th of April. 25th of April. What's going to be for 4 and 5? Okay, hi. Hello. Hi, is your microphone on? Okay, I'll try someone else. Okay, hi. Hello. What do you think would be in 4 and 5? What kind of information? Okay. Let's have a look at the chat. Let's see what everyone's saying in the chat. Time, time and place, day. Yes, we probably want a day here, won't we? We got 25th of April, so maybe Wednesday, 25th of April, or Sunday, 25th of April. And then the at refers to a time or a place. Okay, so Wednesday, the 25th of April at the shop, or at the car park, okay, or at 5 o'clock, or at 9 in the morning, something like this, okay? So similarly, for the drop off, we're probably going to hear a day, and then again, maybe a time or a place, something like this. Okay, possibly a date. Okay, driving license. What do we anticipate you will hear for the driving license? I see some of you are saying numbers and letters. Yeah, it could be both. It could be a number, it could be a letter, depends on the country, doesn't it? Okay. And then we've got extras. Any extras that you might pay for, something that costs £10. So what could come here? What extras might you pay for when you're hiring a car? For delivery, perhaps? Yeah, maybe tax, customs, VAT, something like this. Probably a service. Yeah, expect a service. Maybe they clean the car for you or put petrol in there, or maybe there's some membership club, maybe insurance, could be any of these kinds of things, couldn't it? Anything extra that you would pay, some kind of fee that you would pay. So we're probably looking for some kind of a noun, and it's probably some kind of a service, isn't it? Like valet cleaning, or for them to deliver the car to you, or to give you a replacement car in 24 hours if there's a problem, something like this. Good. And then lastly, a reference. What do you think you might hear when there is a reference? Okay, hi. Hi, Beatrice. Is your microphone on? No, okay, let's go back to the chats. Okay. Some kind of identification code, some kind of number, something like this. Yeah, something to help the company identify you. They'll probably have a special number for every single time they hire out a car. So that's what we're going to be predicting. So that helps you to focus when you're listening. Okay, there's going to be probably some chat. They say, how are you? Thank you very much. There's going to be some information that we don't need, but we already know by predicting exactly the kind of information that you'll need to fill out the form. So let's do some listening, everyone. Okay. So yes, it helps you to focus on what to listen out for. And be careful, because the word or the number that you need might not necessarily be in the correct order. It might not be the one that you hear first. Okay. Remember that in natural conversation, people stop, correct themselves. Yep. So what's your telephone number? It's 028. Oh, sorry, 0208 567. Yeah. People correct themselves when they speak, or change their minds, or the car is available on Wednesday. Oh no, sorry, it's just on Thursday. Yep. So listen carefully to make sure you write down the corrected version as well. All right, let's practice. So everyone, here is the form that you all need to fill out. Okay. Try and listen to all of the answers. And if you miss an answer, move on to the next. Okay. So let me know if you can all hear. I'm just going to press play.
Unit 8. Listening skills.
Let's go back. Did everyone hear that? Was that working for you? Yeah, good. All right, so we're going to practice our part 1 listening. Let's try and fill out the form.
Unit 8. Listening skills. Exercise 3.
Good morning, Abby Car Hire. How can I help you?
Oh, hello. I'm calling to see if it's possible to hire a car for 3 days next weekend.
What size of car were you hoping to rent?
Well, something big enough for a family of 4 with luggage.
That would be a medium family car. Let's see. Yes, that shouldn't be a problem. There's plenty of availability. First, I need to take a few details. Can I have your name, please?
Yes, it's Stephen with a V, Chamberlain. That's Chamberlain.
Okay. And can I have your address, please?
Yes, it's 3 Hamilton House.
Oh, that's in Queen's Road, isn't it?
No, we don't live in Rowington, we're from Stretton. It must be a different Hamilton House. It's Market Street, Stretton.
And the postcode?
ST17 5BU.
And a contact telephone number. Your mobile is probably best.
Yes, let's see, it's 07934 854 552.
So, can you confirm the exact dates you wish to hire the car? From Friday, you said?
No, Saturday morning if possible. That's the 25th. What's the earliest we can pick it up?
Our office opens at 8 a.m.
Oh, not that early. I expect about 8:45 would suit us.
OK. 8:45 on the Saturday. And you'll drop it off on the Monday?
Yes, April the 27th. That's right. We have a train to catch at 6:30, so we'd like to drop it off in the afternoon at about 4:30.
Actually, we offer a complimentary shuttle service to the station and airport. If your train's at 6:30, may I suggest a 5 o'clock drop-off? That will give you plenty of time. The shuttle bus takes no more than 20 minutes, even in the rush hour.
That's great. Thanks. That'll save us a taxi fare.
So the total charge will be, let's see, £87.50. That includes full insurance.
That seems reasonable.
I just need a few more details. Who is going to be the main driver?
I am.
You'll just need to bring your driving licence with you. You haven't got the number on you, have you?
Yes. Wait a minute. Yes, here it is. It's CHAMB 703 161 SWLY 60.
And will you be the only driver?
Yes. My wife prefers not to drive when we hire a car. I've just remembered, we'll need a car seat for my youngest son. Is that possible?
How old is he?
4.
Yes, that's fine. I've added that to the booking form. There'll be a charge of £10 for the car seat. So that's everything. I'll just give you the booking reference number. It's B657D64.
Got that?
We'll send you a confirmation email with all the details.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mr. Chamberlain.
Okay, everyone. Well done. I can see lots of you answering the questions in the chat. Now, remember, for the listening, you'll hear the recording twice, but there is no pause in the middle. Okay, they'll play the listening twice in a row. Okay. I can see lots of you are asking questions about whether you should use pen or pencil. I would strongly recommend you use pencil for 2 reasons. One is that if you make a mistake, it's just easier to rub it out and then you can write the correct answer. It's a bit harder to do with pen. But also, the computers that scan your answers can read pencil much better. Okay, so if it can be scanned by a computer, you'll get your results a little bit quicker than if you use pen. Maybe the computer doesn't register it, an examiner has to look at it in person. Okay, so I'd strongly recommend you use pencil. And of course, you will not need to transfer any answers if you're using the computer. You just write them straight onto the computer, and that's true of the reading, the writing, and the listening. Of course, speaking's a bit different because you'll still be face to face with someone, either in the classroom or on the computer. Okay, so we've had a listen to the recording 1 time through. Okay, so the first one, we're listening out for a surname.
First, I need to take a few details. Can I have your name, please?
Yes, it's Stephen with a V, Chamberlain. That's CHAMBERLAIN.
Okay, guys, so I'm going to take you all to speak now for each answer. So, what was the surname? You can tell me, what was the surname? Okay, hi, son.
It was Chamberlain.
Chamberlain. Good. And how did we spell Chamberlain?
Chamberlain.
Perfect. Well done. So notice that they spelled out the surname as well. So it's important, okay, that we listen very carefully, because an incorrect spelling means you don't get them wrong. Okay, if you missed out, for example, the A or the I, even though it sounds the same, it sounds like Chamberlain, it has to be spelled correctly. Okay, so that was our surname, Stephen Chamberlain. How about number 2? Let's give it a listen.
And can I have your address, please?
Yes, it's 3 Hamilton House.
Oh, that's in Queen's Road, isn't it?
No, we don't live in Rowington, we're from Stretton. It must be a different Hamilton House. It's Market Street, Stretton.
Okay, so here we had one road name, didn't we? And then Stephen corrected. And what was the correct answer? Okay, hi.
Hi, the answer was Market Street.
That's it, Market Street. Good. Queen's Road was the distraction. Well done. Yeah, you can see here, initially Queen's Road, and then it was corrected to Market Street. Okay. Sorry, I think that should have been a 3 on the form here, everyone. 3 Hamilton House, okay, on Market Street. Okay, let's carry on. So our next question. Oh yes, a telephone number. Okay.
And a contact telephone number. Your mobile is probably best.
Yes, let's see, it's 07934 854 552.
So 07934 854 552. Notice everyone that in British English, when we're reading out a telephone number, the 0 is pronounced O. Okay, instead of 079, it's 079. Okay, that's how we say it in British English. Okay, and remember, I said if it's a British phone number, it will have 11 digits, so you can check if you've missed a number out. Okay, if you've only got 07934 85455, you know, oh, okay, I'm missing one more digit. On my second listen, I'll try and hear that final digit. Okay. All right. So the next one. Okay, when are they going to pick up the car?
So, can you confirm the exact dates you wish to hire the car? From Friday, you said?
No, Saturday morning if possible. That's the 25th. What's the earliest we can pick it up?
Our office opens at 8 a.m.
Oh, not that early. I expect about 8:45 would suit us.
Okay, 8:45 on the Saturday.
Okay, so what day did they want? What day to pick up the car? Okay, hi. Saturday, good. Yes. So the woman initially said, would you like it on Friday? And then the man said no on Saturday. Very good. And then for the time and place. So the woman initially said, we open at 8 o'clock. Okay, that was the first thing that you heard. But what did the man then ask for? What time?
Sorry to take you back a bit. I needed to know at number 4 when they say Saturday, do we say Saturday morning or we say just Saturday?
Just Saturday is fine. Just Saturday, yeah. So what time did you hear?
So 8:45.
Yes, very good. So Saturday, and he said 8:45 or 8:45. Be aware when you listen to a time, you might hear various different ways of expressing that time. You might hear AM for morning and PM for afternoon. You might hear the use of past and to, so half past, quarter to, 22, or you might hear it read out like a digital clock, okay, 16:45, 8:45, 8:15, something like that. Okay, so when we're listening out for a time, be aware, of course, there are different ways of saying time. Yes, okay, so this is a good example where we hear some initial information, but it's the second thing we want. It's not Friday, it's Saturday, it's not 8, it's 8:45. Okay, so when do they want to return the car? That's our next question, isn't it? 6 and 7. Let's listen again.
And you'll drop it off on the Monday?
Yes, April the 27th. That's right. We have a train to catch at 6:30, so we'd like to drop it off in the afternoon at about 4:30.
Actually, we offer a complimentary shuttle service to the station and airport. If your train's at 6:30, may I suggest a 5 o'clock drop-off? That will give you plenty of time. The shuttle bus takes no more than 20 minutes, even in the rush hour.
That's great. Thanks. That'll save us a taxi fare.
Good. Okay, so we could say the 27th of April or Monday the 27th of April if you want to be more precise. Okay, and what time? What time, everyone? So the man initially said 4 o'clock, didn't he? About 4 o'clock. But the company offers a shuttle service, so they'll take them to the station and the airport. Okay, and they're suggesting 5 o'clock. So they'll return the car at 5 o'clock and then get this free shuttle service to the 27th of April. Now, this is going to be important in the extras section, okay? Bearing in mind, they say the shuttle service is complimentary. Complimentary. What does that mean, everyone? Complimentary. What does it mean when you get something that is complimentary? Yes, a few of you are saying it is free. It means there's no charge, no fee. It's free, okay? So be careful when you go to the extras part, because the extras, there was a £10 charge, okay? So if you wrote down shuttle service, that would be incorrect, because the shuttle service, you don't pay extra for, it's complimentary, it's free, okay? So something to bear in mind. Okay, so we've answered 6 and 7. Let's move along. Okay, so a driving license now.
You'll just need to bring your driving licence with you. You haven't got the number on you, have you?
Yes. Wait a minute. Yes, here it is. It's CHAMB 703161 SWLY 60.
A long one. Did anyone get it? CHAMB, and then a space. Notice that he's leaving a space when he's speaking. 703161 SWLY 60. Now, you won't lose marks if you don't put the spaces in, but it's just a good idea because that's how he naturally said it. Yeah, where he leaves a slight pause, you could leave a space. Just a suggestion. Okay. I've seen some questions in the chat, everyone. Let's just go through some of those. Can you write 5 o'clock? Yes, you can. You can write the time in any format. Okay, you could write 5 p.m. You could write 1700. You could write 5 o'clock. Whatever you want. Okay, as long as it's the accurate time, that's fine. Any format. Okay. Do you lose marks if you don't have the space? No, no, you don't. I'm just suggesting you include the space. Okay, when he naturally takes a pause. So you go CHAMB 703161. Okay. So just a suggestion to leave a space. Okay. It's not an important. You don't have to do it. You won't lose marks if you don't do it. Okay. Advice for spelling, I suppose, write down if you're doing the paper test, write down what you hear initially, and then check each individual letter or number when you hear it the second time. Okay, that's the best idea I can suggest to you for the spelling. Okay, and if you're still not sure, maybe practice listening to information on a video or with a friend, people giving information like names, phone numbers, addresses, things like that. And be aware of some of the things I said with UK style information. So a postcode tends to be 2 letters and a number or 2 numbers, space, and then a number or 2 numbers and 2 letters. A phone number is 11 digits, and so on. Okay, let's finish up 9 and 10. And then we'll go on to part 2. Okay, so the extra. So the extra is not the shuttle service to the station or the airport, because that's complimentary, that's free. So what are they being charged extra for? £10 extra.
I've just remembered, we'll need a car seat for my youngest son. Is that possible?
How old is he?
4.
Yes, that's fine. I've added that to the booking form. There'll be a charge of £10 for the car seat.
Yep, car seat. Very good, everyone. Okay. And then I've seen a question. Should you use uppercase? Ideally, yes. Yes, you should. Okay, just because it makes it clearer. And then finally, we have a reference number.
So that's everything. I'll just give you the booking reference number. It's B657 D64.
Got that.
657 D64. There you go. Some letters as well. Okay, so that's part 1, everyone. We've done the first 10 questions. Well done. Okay, listening to a conversation between 2 people about something business or social. Could be a restaurant booking, could be hiring a service, could be talking about an event, something like this. Could be 2 people speaking at work, something like this. Okay, let's look at part 2. So part 2 is not a dialogue, it's a monologue. It's one person speaking. And then we're talking about social needs and arrangements, usually talking about plans to do something, okay? For example, a person talking about a boat show and how they're going to arrange the different aspects, the different components of a boat show. So have a look at these options, everyone. Which one are you most likely to hear in part 2? Which one do you think? Some of you saying 4, some saying 3. Remember, this is a monologue, okay? So only one person speaking. So it's not going to be 3, is it? That's a recruiter and a student talking. It's not going to be that one. It's not going to be number 4, is it? Because that's 2 students talking. Remember, we want a monologue. One person speaking, one person alone. So what do we think, everyone? 1 or 2? Number 2, tour guide giving information, okay? Because this is about social needs or social arrangements. Maybe they're describing the parts of a new theatre, where the fire escapes are, all the different seats, the escape, the entrance, where you can buy drinks, something like that. Okay, a professor giving a talk about animal hibernation, that to me is more scientific. Yeah, that's not really about social needs or arrangements, is it? That's like a lecture or a science talk or a documentary. So number 2, I think, number 2 is what we're going to hear in part 2. Remember, dialogue is like duo, 2, okay, and mono generally means 1. For example, monolingual means someone who speaks one language, and what else? Monorail is a train with one line, okay? So if you see mono, it means 1. A monologue means one person speaking. All right, so have a look. There's going to be a boat show. This is the plan of where the different things are, okay? And you have to write the correct letter. You see there's different letters, A, B, C, D, E, labeled in the different parts, and you have to say what they all are. Okay, so C might be the food and drink stall, A might be the cash machine, okay? So that's the first 5 questions. And then the next part, they're going to talk about different parts of the show. For example, paper tickets and electronic tickets, a bus, a leaflet, okay? And you have to write A, B, or C, whether it's going to cost more or less or the same. So 2 different parts to this, really, okay? So before we begin, what can you fill in the missing words or phrases here?
Let's look first at the plan of the main show area. Let's look
What did you
first
say? Let's look first. Good. Okay, let's look first. Next one, number 2.
The first thing you'll see when you enter is a digital information board showing the events of the
What did you say
day.
here? The first thing you'll see, very good. Okay, number 3.
Beyond that are some steps, and you go down these to the main display area.
What did you say just now, everyone? Yeah, beyond that, there are some steps. Good. Okay, number 4.
And on the subject of spending money, we're also going to install a couple of cash points just behind the refreshments area.
Play it one more time.
And on the
Yes,
subject of
on the subject of. So whilst you're discussing, while you're on the subject of, while we're talking about something like that. Okay, then number 5.
Now, before you reach the boats, you're going to see the stands of the smaller companies.
Yep, now before, and last one, number 6.
This year, you'll have to go right past their stands in order to get to what most people will have come to see.
Good, this year. So all of these things that we've just highlighted, let's look first, the first thing, now on the subject of, this year. These are what we call signal words. Signal words, everyone. And in the same way that in part 1, we try to predict the information, in part 2, the signal words will help you to answer the different questions, especially as the information might come in the wrong order, out of order, okay? So what do we mean by signal words, okay? Signal words let you know when the answer to a question is coming, okay? They indicate what the person is about to say. It's words like next, after that, then, firstly, lastly, okay? It could be giving you prompts or information. So whilst we're on the subject of, as we're talking about, I forgot to mention, for example, could be phrases like that, okay? So if we look here, we're looking at a plan, aren't we? A plan of a boat show. So what should we be listening out for? We're probably going to hear some prepositions, aren't we? Prepositions tell us where things are. So we're listening out for words like beyond that, after that, behind there, to the left, to the right, in front of, next to, over there, words like this, okay? Signal words and prepositions that help us identify an answer. Okay, we want to think about the location of the different things and how to describe it in relation to other places. Okay, so for example, A is behind B. Where is D, everyone? Where did you say D is? How would you describe where D is? Which word could we use? Which preposition? Between, yeah, between. When something's in the middle, we can use between. We can say it's perhaps between the main gate and E, or between C and E, perhaps by the main gate, adjacent to, yeah, southwest of, that's nice, yeah, these are all good. These are the kinds of things we should be anticipating to hear, okay? F is on the side of E, or to the side of E. What else do we have? Some stairs. B is next to some stairs, in front of some stairs, up some stairs. This is what we're listening out for, okay? So we're going to listen and then we'll try and label the map. Okay, everyone? So let's give it a go.
Unit 8. Preparing to answer 2. Exercise 3.
You will hear a speaker talking to a group of local people who have come to hear about the arrangements for a boat show. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15. Listen carefully to the first part of the talk and answer questions 11 to 15.
Good afternoon. Thanks to you all for attending this planning meeting for this year's boat show. As you all know, it's the biggest boat show in the country, and this time we're expecting more visitors than ever before. So we need to make sure everything is properly planned and runs as smoothly as possible. Let's look first at the plan of the main show area. Does everybody have that? Good. Those of you who have been involved with previous boat shows here will notice that we've made some major changes. Instead of having several entrances, we've decided to have just one large one for visitors and a small service entrance off to one side for exhibitors and technical personnel. This means that if you're a visitor, the first thing you'll see when you enter is a digital information board showing the events of the day. Beyond that are some steps, and you go down these to the main display area, passing the first aid tent on your left and then the main snacks and refreshments area on the right. Last year's catering wasn't a great success, to be honest. It made very little money for the show, and we're hoping to do much better this year with a much wider range of products. And on the subject of spending money, we're also going to install a couple of cash points just behind the refreshments area. We don't want people running out of cash while they're here. Anyway, going back to the main route through the showground, the steps lead down to the exhibition area. Now, before you reach the boats, you're going to see the stands of the smaller companies who make sails, navigation equipment, nautical paint, that kind of thing. The suppliers, in other words, rather than the boat builders. We've arranged it like this because last year the companies with those stands complained that very few people visited them. This year you'll have to go right past their stands in order to get to what most people will have come to see, all the very latest boat designs. So, there you have it. Quite a different layout to last year.
Okay, everyone. Before we look at the answers, there have been a few questions about transfer time. I've seen in the chat and the Q&A. So, if you are taking the paper-based test, you will have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet, okay? 10 minutes at the end. But if you're taking the computer-based test, you don't get any extra time, and you should mark your answers directly onto the computer, okay? So transfer time, yes, if you are doing the paper test of 10 minutes, and no transfer time if you're doing it on the computer, okay? Yes, you should try and write in capital letters, and you won't get marked down for things like the registration, okay? And what else? Another question. Yes, you should try and use pencil, okay? Because then you can rub out your answers, and it makes it easier for the computer, okay? And yes, you will hear the recording twice. Okay, so let's look at some of the answers, everyone. So the electronic notice board.
Instead of having several entrances, we've decided to have just one large one for visitors and a small service entrance off to one side for exhibitors and technical personnel. This means that if you're a visitor, the first thing you'll see when you enter is a digital information board showing the events of the day.
So what do we think, everyone? What thing is the notice board? D, yes, good. So they say, don't they, that there's going to be one main entrance over here. So main gate and entrance, synonyms for each other, with a little service entrance to the left. And it means the first thing you see when you walk through will be the digital electronic notice board. Yeah. So we're listening up for synonyms for different words. Instead of main gate, we have entrance. Instead of notice board, we have information board. That's the first thing you'll see. So using that signal word, the first thing, oh, I'm going to hear what the thing is. It's a digital board. Okay. So let's go on. Question 12.
Beyond that are some steps, and you go down these to the main display area, passing the first aid tent on your left, and then the main snacks and refreshments area on the right.
So we heard on the left and on the right. So the first aid station is C. Very good, everyone. And the food and drink stall on the right must be E. Very good. Again, steps, stairs, synonyms, yeah. And we're using those signal words on your left, on the right, go down, okay, to indicate where the different things are. Good. Let's continue. So the cash machine.
And on the subject of spending money, we're also going to install a couple of cash points just behind the refreshments area. We don't want people running out of cash while they're here.
So there it is, everyone. Instead of cash machine, he said cash point. That's another synonym. Okay. ATM is another you might hear. Cash machine, cash point, card machine, ATM, something like this. And instead it's behind the refreshments area. So we already know the refreshments area, the food and drink tent is E. So therefore the cash machine behind it must be F. Very good. Okay. And then last one, 15.
Anyway, going back to the main route through the showground, the steps lead down to the exhibition area. Now, before you reach the boats, you're going to see the stands of the smaller companies who make sails, navigation equipment, nautical paint, that kind of thing. The suppliers, in other words, rather than the boat builders.
So they said that if you go down the steps before you get to the boat, you're going to see the supply stands, things for the suppliers. So that must be B, yeah, because B is before A. Before you reach the boats, you'll see the stands of different companies, equipment stands, sales, paint, equipment, that kind of thing. Okay, good. Well done, everyone. So those are the first 5 questions, labeling a diagram using our prepositions and signal words. So now we'll hear them talk about the arrangements for the show. And remember, for each one, you have to say whether the price will cost more, A, stay the same, B, or cost less than last year, C. Okay. In this kind of matching exercise, we want to underline our keywords and think about some synonyms, some words that mean the same, okay? So the key one for A is cost more. We'll be listening out for words like more expensive, increase in price, something like that. Stay the same price for B. So we're listening out for words like similar price, same cost, identical cost, no change, something like this, okay? And then for C, cost less. Okay, so we're listening out for something like cheaper, reduction, reduce, cut down, something like this, okay? Try and listen out for those words and those synonyms, okay? Question, will it be in this kind of format? Yes, it will, okay? Exactly this kind of matching format, okay? So let's give this one a go.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 16 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 16 to 20.
We've also made some changes to the ticketing arrangements. This year, we've started selling tickets 6 months in advance, instead of 3, and have already sold a lot, although this may be because we're actually reducing the cost of tickets this year. That's right, you heard correctly, we've cut the cost of normal tickets. We're also selling e-tickets online again this year, despite the technical problems we had last time. Then they were a little cheaper than paper tickets. The price of the online tickets remains unchanged, and they now cost the same as a paper ticket. Why are we reducing prices when everybody else is raising them? A criticism in the past has been that tickets are too expensive, and we want to make the show affordable for everybody. To compensate, we're raising the fees slightly for the exhibitors' stands, and we'll also add a bit to the price of the brochures. They sold extremely well last year, and nobody seemed to think they were too expensive. Another big change, as I've no doubt you're all aware, is that we've extended the show by 2 days. As well as increasing ticket sales, we're hoping this will help to ease some of the problems we've had in recent years with traffic congestion in the surrounding area. Connected with that, we're also hoping to encourage more local people to leave their cars at home by halving the price of the special shuttle bus from the city centre. Those are all the main points, I think. Are there any questions so far?
Okay, so we had quite a few synonyms, didn't we? Lots of synonyms. Okay. So the paper tickets, what words or expressions did we hear?
This year, we've started selling tickets 6 months in advance, instead of 3, and have already sold a lot, although this may be because we're actually reducing the cost of tickets.
Did we hear that? Reducing the cost. Cutting the cost. Yep, so it will cost less. This must be C for the normal paper tickets. Okay. Our next one. So we had a synonym here, didn't we? Instead of electronic tickets, we had e-tickets.
We're also selling e-tickets online again this year, despite the technical problems we had last time. Then they were a little cheaper than paper tickets. The price of the online tickets remains unchanged, and they now cost the same as a paper ticket.
What word did we hear that means stay the same? What word did you all hear? Unchanged. Okay. Unchanged. They now cost the same as a paper ticket. So the first thing you might have heard was last year, but this year, the electronic tickets will stay the same price. The price is unchanged. Okay. So the show brochure will cost more. Okay. What about the exhibitions?
To compensate, we're raising the fees slightly.
Raising the fees, so cost more. Okay.
For the exhibitors' stands, and we'll also add a bit to the price of the brochures.
So 2 there, that will cost more. The exhibitions, the exhibitors' stands, and also the price of the brochures will both cost a little bit more to make up for the fact that the tickets are going to be cheaper. Okay. And then final question, question 20, and then I'll take some of your questions and we'll finish the webinar.
Connected with that, we're also hoping to encourage more local people to leave their cars at home by halving the price of the special shuttle bus from the city centre.
So did we all hear that? Halving the price. Okay, so it will cost less. It will cost half of the price. Okay, it will be half of the price compared to last year. Okay, everyone. Well, thank you very much. So a quick summary for you. Okay. Part 1 is a dialogue, a conversation. It's about social and commercial needs. Part 2 is a monologue, one person speaking, also about social needs and arrangements. And remember, parts 3 and 4 are academic, okay, and there will similarly be a conversation and a monologue. Try and predict the notes. Try and listen out for signal words so you know when the answer to a question is coming. Okay, in map labeling exercises like the one we just did, use your prepositions to describe the locations and try and predict some synonyms for what you're going to hear. Okay, so please all take a screenshot. This will help you as a review of today's class. Feel free to take a picture, take a screenshot. Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining us today, everyone. Okay, if you're interested in a writing evaluation service, then this is something that we offer and integrate. You can choose your own writing tasks from our own library or choose a topic of your very own. Okay, you then submit your essay and choose an evaluation package, and someone will read and mark your essay. We'll give you detailed feedback and an estimated band score, and it will be via email and in less than 48 hours. Okay, so here is a sample for you. You can see here we've given this person an 8 for the task achievement, a 9 for grammar. There's some comments here about what they could be doing better, maybe using more past simple verbs, maybe expanding their vocabulary. Okay, so if you're interested in this writing service, please get in touch. You can visit the website, IELTSonlinetest.com, or just email us. And this has our full range of upcoming webinars. We do webinars for all 4 skills, okay, reading, writing, listening, speaking. We have a speaking evaluation service and this writing evaluation service, as I said. And we've also got some helpful links and videos for you, okay? So if you're interested in any of those things or our future webinars, please do get in touch. And thank you very much for joining us today, everyone. Let me just see if there are any final questions. The time, absolutely fine to write the time in different formats, okay? 5 AM, 5 o'clock, 5.00, whatever you want, okay? What kind of things should you listen to? Well, definitely people giving information, I think, is quite important, okay? Someone said, is the exam going to be that easy? Well, I'm glad you found it easy. Keep practicing, okay? And then you get a very good score. Capital letters, yes, you should use uppercase, you should use capital letters, even for things like a driving license, okay? What else have we got? Should you maintain punctuation? Well, the answers tend to be shorter, don't they? So it's unlikely that you're going to leave things like full stops or commas. So I wouldn't worry about that too much, but the spelling does matter, okay? The spelling does count. So especially if you have trouble with people spelling out a surname or an address or a phone number, try and practice that a bit more. There's lots of videos on YouTube where you can practice people giving information, or maybe just practice with a friend. Practice swapping your address and your phone number and see if you can get the right information, okay? All right, well, thank you very much for joining us, everyone. Oh, a question, American spelling or British spelling, both are fine. Both are fine, okay? Thank you for joining us, everyone. As I said, my name is Kieran. I hope I'll see you at our next webinar. I'm going to be doing one on the 16th. Hopefully I'll see some of you there. Thank you very much for joining us. And I'm going to close the meeting. Enjoy the rest of your day or evening or morning, wherever you are. Thank you very much, everyone. It was a pleasure to speak to you all today. See you soon.